Welcome everyone to Cartoon Action Hour on RPGlory. So this is the first time we've done this. We're going to be doing like some brainstorming and creating characters, but it should be really cool. What we're doing is we're going to be doing a game that sort of simulates 80s Saturday morning cartoons. So like uh, stuff like Thundar, Space Ghost. And many others. There's hundreds, and many of them are very crazy. Captain
Yes.
Caveman, even maybe,
Yes.
but not Muppet Babies, because just
But
no.
not
Just no. Just hell no.
Yeah. So let me see. How's everybody doing? And I will have everybody's names up shortly. I don't yet because I threw together this overlay at the very last minute, and there are details yet to do.
yes.
Stuff will continue to progress as time does. Now, okay, Joe, this is your show. Go for it and see
Yes,
what happens.
yes, Joe, please, by all means,
Sure.
proceed.
I shall attempt to run things with my usual smooth fashion. Hi, everybody. So we're going to be playing Cartoon Action Hour. Cartoon Action Hour, this is the third version of it. It's put together by a company called Spectrum Games. It's available for purchase right now on Drive-Thru RPG. And last time I checked, it actually is on sale, so there you go. The system is meant to simulate the syndicated cartoons of the 80s. So your Thundar, your G.I. Joe, your Space Ghost, your
Masters of the Universe,
your Defenders of the Earth, your
Transformers.
Yeah, if you want to go
Transformers.
crazy, Transformers, some of the rules for that are like, whoa.
Yeah, they're a little nuts. But it's your sort of, have to make up an episode every week. It was before you could ship a lot of the work off to either computers or to other parts of the world. So the animation tended to repeat a lot. You've only got 22 minutes really to tell a story, so you can't spend a lot of time on character development or dialogue or plots that make sense.
Barbarian.
And your audience is young and basically, with really no exceptions, these cartoons are all about selling toys or video games in the case of Captain N. So the system is all based around simulating all of that. So what we're going to do tonight is have a conversation about what kind of characters we want to play, what kind of world we want to play. We should, by the end of the session, hopefully each have a character. Well, you guys will. I'm running the game.
Yes, you have no character.
I have no character, indeed.
Apparently, I want to die a lot.
That's okay. You don't die. You just get locked away in a cage forever.
Oh, okay, that's much better.
I'm just saying.
So the way the system works, is really straightforward. You use D12s. You make a check against a target number. That target number is either determined by whoever's running the game or by another character if that other character is rolling their check. So they roll, and then you have to beat their roll. The way that checks get modified is with traits, which are like skills in most other sessions. They're very much like fate skills. Or with linking, if you want to link in another trait, or with teamwork, because of course it's 80s cartoons. They're all about teamwork. You also have oomph, which is similar to fate points. You can spend that to influence rolls or influence the game. And you get oomph in similar ways to fate points. One of the things that I like about this, that may or may not tie into this too much, is that the way that you advance as a character is by how much oomph you have left over at the end of the game. that turns into points that you can eventually use to upgrade your character. All right.
They're called proof of purchase.
Proof of purchase, yes.
It's ready.
All about the action figures. Okay, so I wanted to do this as kind of a brainstorming round-robin session, and me just taking a bunch of notes and seeing what's going to work. One other thing, two big things. When I made up the one-pager, I missed a step in character creation. It's okay. It's a pretty simple step. It's just the last thing that you do. It's kind of a final customization of your character. The second thing, for when we do eventually make characters, there tended to be some pretty set roles in these cartoons. So I definitely want to roll with that, both to keep the feel of the system in the cartoons and to make sure that we all have a role to do in the game and know what it is we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Agreed.
Sound good?
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, do we want to do this just everybody speaks as they're interested, or should I call on people?
Sure. Call on any one of us.
Because we are all like, I'm sure super social people who love to be called out on and put on the spotlight.
So the question becomes the main question before characters, or we can go. It depends if we want to go bottom up or top down. Top down, we should think of a world where we want to play in. Bottom up, we just build characters and we see what kind of world those characters fit into.
Yeah. So there had been some talk before about doing not actually basing it off of Wreck-It Ralph, but having this thing where we could be from a bunch of different places, and while we're on screen, we behave in the stereotypical fashion for our characters, and then there'll be a time when we're sort of off screen but still playing, where we're just kind of chill, and despite the sides that we might normally be on, we're all just kind of friends hanging out off work, which I thought was sort of interesting. But it's still just an idea, not necessarily set in stone. But I thought that it left a lot of options.
Yeah, and it's definitely an idea I want to run with. I kind of want to run with that one later. I don't know if we're all in on that right away, we can do that right away. But I thought it'd be interesting to leave that until later.
Okay.
But Leo, I know. Well, look at it this way, Jason, because you weren't in on that conversation. Did you like that? Do you like that idea? Does that appeal to you?
I still prefer to have a nice set world to start in because that's so much easier. Just to get your head into the game, and then we can work on we're all summoned to a grand scheme, or perhaps we're all from different places, but we're all trapped somewhere together, and we got to work together to get out of the trapped place. That works for me too.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
The thing about it is you don't have to rationalize changing things. Like if we start off a He-Man, we suddenly end up on a world full of Archie and Veronica. It's the 80s. It doesn't really matter. There's no justification required.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Very true.
You don't need to justify it. That's a modern thing.
Yeah. We brought in a whole new team of writers and artists for just this one season. It's going to be
just one season, and things went to hell in a handbasket.
Leo, do you want to do world first and then characters, or characters first and then world? Does either one of those appeal to you more?
Well, I think the characters should fit the world. In my opinion, I like going from the world up so that our characters fit where we're plane, but either way works for me. I was thinking like an anime lady or something like that, or anime dude like Robotech-esque or
Mm-hmm.
Galaxy Railways, Star Blazers, stuff like that.
I'm definitely going to have to lean on Jason a little bit as an anime expert because I'm not too familiar with the animes from the 80s.
It's pretty much better. Well, it depends. We're probably not going to do a serial, so we'll just do an episode. We get our feet together, so it'll be all good.
Galaxy Railway, 1999, crashes on a planet. We could play the 1980s version of Lost.
Oh, true.
What is
No,
that? Galaxy Railway?
Yes. Oh, it's
Yeah.
so boring.
Yeah.
So boring and yet so pretty.
Yeah. Well, it was a classic.
A flying train set in the far reaches of space.
Yep.
Oh.
And it's
Big
exactly
train.
what you think it is. Actually, no, it's not exactly what you think it is, because you're like, oh, it's got to be like like Murder on Orient Express or something exciting. No, it's a lot of talking in space.
Really want to be a robot?
Talking in space.
Well, it goes off with Captain Holland too.
Yes, and of course,
That's same pretty much in every anime from the 80s. You take her face, she's like pretty much everywhere. Like
she is
Literally.
indeed.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
this like elven-looking lady with blonde hair that goes all the way down to her ankles, and she's like walking around like, and everybody's like, "Oh, she's really pretty," and no one else looks like her at all.
she's like the
That's
Watcher, I think. I think
Yeah.
she's totally the Watcher.
Yeah.
But she's in every single like Galaxy Railway, Star Blazers.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. She is the linking. Well, there's an interesting idea because, we can definitely get into, and this is where the 1980s thing goes a little bit weird. This is not cartoon-based, but if we want to kind of do Wreck-It Ralph, and without doing Wreck-It Ralph itself, like, we're all at a hub, then we got to go into different places. There's always this Saint Elsewhere phenomenon, where this is entire universe based around Saint Elsewhere.
Yes, where everything is linked in some way.
In some way.
Yes.
Probably one of the first examples of it.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I was contemplating was we do these as sort of one shots, and then every one shot we have a different world and or different characters.
We can totally do Star Trek.
Actually, I was thinking Magical Shopping Arcade.
Oh, that's not 80s. That's 2000. But
Version of it. We're all a bunch of
Well, hey, if it's got the word arcade in it, then it can be made 80s.
Okay.
not quite that arcade. But
Yeah, we'll figure
I
it
don't
out.
know if I want to build new characters every episode, because I'm looking at the character creation concept, and this isn't like as easy as. Especially if you want to go into like, I want to play a transforming robot, you're going to spend an hour building one of those.
Oh yeah, the transforming rules, the Gestalt rules, like those are all kind of crazy. That's true.
Yeah, that kind of gets into like, yeah, that's actually kind of like building a D-Rev character. That's fine.
Okay, what I'd probably recommend is we stay human or human-like-ish, just to make things a little bit easier so Joe doesn't break down.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I'm
And then
thinking.
we can add
Well,
in vehicles and
okay.
stuff later.
All I have to say, I did have like this flash of what the character I really wanted to play.
Okay.
Is an XP or maybe the exact character of Mindok Mindok the Menace, who was in a single episode of Thunder the Barbarian as one of the wizard adversaries, and he's he's a brain that can with help from enslaved scientists or whatever, can be put into various robots, and talks with a high evil voice and summons things, and would probably be really complicated to reflect not in stats. Now that I think about it, but would be cool.
As a player character, very difficult. As an enemy, perfect.
Yeah.
Just made the villain. Well done.
Now,
Sorry, guys.
Could you play like the lesser version who's a little bit nicer?
It's an 80s cartoon
Sure.
villain. You just need to help Christmas.
Well, as an 80s cartoon, the good guys are the good guys and the bad guys are the bad
They're the
guys.
bad guys.
Yeah.
Occasionally, bad guys become good guys, but it's very rare.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a possibility. Jay, I know that at one point we were talking about this. You were talking about Masters of the Universe.
Or something like Master Universe. I think this really spawned out of our original conversation of ninjas in space.
Mm-hmm.
But if we kind of go along, kind of like the Railroad 1999, Space Railroad 1999 / Robotech / Captain Harlock kind of stuff, that is basically ninjas in space.
Yes.
Okay.
Pirates.
Where ninjas come from across the galaxy to help fight the evil one. Insert name here.
All I know is I have 3 possible stock characters that will probably fit into anything.
Okay.
So I'll kind of go through them just as an idea, no stats yet. So I have Mr. Moon. Mr. Moon's ability is basically darkness control, but only from the concept that it's easier to animate to show. So he temporarily removes backgrounds to make animation budgets cheaper.
Yes.
So we'd have to work on how that power actually works, but that would be one of my special qualities, is make animation budget cheaper. So maybe speed along combat or something, or deny an enemy like cover or something because it gets like blacked out. The other one is unfortunately from a 2000 cartoon that Chris introduced me to, and this is definitely kind of getting into what Brad is kind of talking about. And I'd be definitely willing to be Brad's like lackey for this, which is the minion who becomes a main character. And that is definitely from Venture Brothers.
Nice.
So that's kind of like the evil minion who becomes the main character, but because we're going to play heroes, turned good.
Okay.
Or we drop that trope because it's a modern trope, and I'm just actually a minion of one of the good guys who's in the background, and everybody's dying off screen. I'm the only one who came back.
Okay.
Okay. And my third one is not really for the space base. It's being for more like a G.I. Joe or Mr. T type cartoon, or Chuck Norris type cartoon. And the only thing that came first was the name. His name is Carpal T, and he has really, really giant hands that have motion when you flex the legs on the action figure.
Yes, Kung Fu grip.
He has Kung Fu grip. Real Kung Fu action.
Names that are puns, definitely a bonus.
Yes, Carpal T.
Carpal T.
Yeah, his weakness would be his wrist gets really sore, so.
He needs his Bengay.
His hands are too big for his wrist.
Brad, I feel like we're kind of drifting toward an anime in space ninjas kind of game. How are you feeling about that?
I'm like nothing specifically comes to mind for an angle on that immediately, but I'm sure I can figure something out.
Okay. Does it sound like a direction you want to head in?
Let's at least explore it, sure.
Okay.
We can still work in your brain box, guy. No problem.
Well, I mean, if we can't, then that's fine too, because I mean, Brain Box Guy is definitely, in the 80s milieu would not be a protagonist. It would.
No.
Sure he
admit
would.
it. Okay,
I mean-
maybe. I mean, I'd love to do it anyway, but if it like, breaks the verisimilitude or breaks the feel, then I definitely want to come up with something else.
We can destroy our brains and use the Gestalt rule, so we have to Gestalt with you to make you good.
Yeah. Could I recommend something, guys?
What's that, Chris?
Actual proper roles. Could I recommend the archetype of the 5-man band, and we make Brad the brain of the operation?
Yes.
Brain hero in a jar on a robot, a good robot, or an animal, or whatever you want to do with the brain.
Oh, maybe he only turns evil when you put him on evil robots.
You got it.
That's our moral. We could do morals of stories with that every week, man.
Oh, I like that idea. PSA every week is trying to teach Brad's character a new aspect of being a good person.
That would be awesome.
Oh, I like that idea.
Now we're just forcing characters on Brad. Sorry.
Sorry. We apologize.
Nothing is set in stone until we decide.
It's so bad.
Leo, you're the one who suggested Space 1999 Galaxy Trains, was it?
Well, it was a similarity to it or something like that. I grew up on Voltron and all those other animes and stuff like that, so that was kind of what got me into 80s cartoons, basically, and then I started watching G.I. Joe and all this other stuff, so
very cool.
Kind of throwback to that. That's what I watched. I watched G.I. Joe, then I watched Voltron, then I watched Star Blazers. It's called Yamato in Japan. Yes. And then Galaxy Robots. I sort of kind of like that genre a little bit, you know.
Oh yeah, good stuff.
But you know, it doesn't work with everybody's character.
Yeah. Well, I think
a point I would like to make out though is in Japanese or those anime tropes, Brad's character would be technically evil because he could be like the crazy guy. You know, there's like people in there like that are like off the wall in some of those characters. A really evil guy is like totally evil. Like he's the bad guy. He like dresses a certain way. He's got a certain attitude towards you, and it's like, and he's like constantly working to try to beat you. And most of the time, they fight him like at the end. He's like always in the far off reaches of the galaxy, like talking to some TV, like, "Did you get him yet, there?" You know, like, what's it? Voltron, you know.
Yes.
You know, he was like, "Hagar, have you launched the monster yet to go kill Voltron?" "Not yet. I will do it soon." You know, and that's all he do is like sit there in his spaceship and like his floating armada around him, like not doing anything, sending people out to go kill us. He's like, "You failed me. Why don't you take your armada and kill?" I mean, come on now.
Yeah. That's your star power for master villain right there.
Yeah.
So actually, you bring up a good point. Because we kind of have two sets of tropes here, and we can mash them together or we can keep them separate. But there's the 80s syndicated cartoon tropes, which are mostly came out of the West, out of the U.S., and then there's the anime tropes, which are kind of different. I mean, the characters are definitely different. So, do we want to bring in any of the, because that's not an area that I know a lot about personally.
We could do a Sandy Frank.
Oh, good Lord, yes. We're a dub.
Which is the awesome Japanese one, watered down for American and Canadian audiences.
That'd be interesting.
Because that is the story of Gotcha Man.
Oh God, yes.
Well, and Robotech.
And Robotech.
And yeah, in many
which
ways,
was better done than G-Force.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or, pardon me, Battle of the Planets.
yeah, they did a lot of interpretation. Part of the fun. Okay.
So, if we want to do a rewrite, our evil character was evil in the anime series, but when he got redubbed, he's good.
As
He
a,
goes
as
evil.
a
He
medic,
goes evil every so often when the guest voice actor is drunk on the phone trying to do the voices.
Yes.
this is
Oh, I
for
like
Skype, so it would be on the phone. Oh heavens. Okay, so we're definitely seem to all be on board with the with the space ninja, the traveling in space.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Sure.
Everybody giving me a yay on that?
Yeah, because then you can do the multiple world thing and have different stories each time.
Yeah, true enough.
And then our hangout at the bar is on our ship traveling through space.
Yep.
Where
The
the
PSA is in the
Yes, we have to have a PSA room.
yeah. We literally do have a PSA room.
It's like a holodeck, but it's only for PSAs.
Yep.
So I mean, it feels a little bit about this. It feels a little like the space janitors thing that we're doing in Fate, but we could
Yeah, that's the thing. It is a little similar. Yeah,
a little similar,
Yeah.
but we
a
could
little too similar, maybe.
if we wanted to have it be like we've crash landed on a planet or we have to get from planet to planet, or we could make it about traveling from planet to planet. Or we could make it sort of Defenders of the Earth-ish and have us based around one particular planet, but we do
Ooh, I kind of
traveling
like that.
I do too. The planet Grokolok.
the planet Krokolok.
I kind of like the defend. Oh God, why am I saying I like the kind of Defenders of the Earth idea? Why am I saying that? That is definitely appealing to me.
It's a great concept, but it's a horrible show.
Yeah.
Leo or Brad, are you familiar with Defenders of the Earth?
Not really. I mean, I think I may have seen some episodes like as a kid, but but I'm not really remembering the overall gist of it.
Okay. Leo, how about you?
Probably I'd have to look it up.
Okay. So it's kind of like a G.I. Joe in space, only nowhere near as good as that. Nowhere near as good as that would suggest. Yeah, it's basically you have your main villain who is Ming the Merciless. You got your henchmen who work for Ming, and every week he's hatching a plot. And you've got your main heroes and also your teenage heroes who all have kind of vague powers.
One is way more powerful than the others.
Yep. So that's kind of based around one planet, but travels around a little bit.
Yeah.
Or we can have based around, more of a Star Trek thing where you're based around a ship and you're traveling from place to place and getting in adventures. Is there a preference?
I think going from on a ship would be able to allow us to get more stuff taken care of. But then again, keeping us on one planet also. But I like the ship kind of idea.
So do
Okay.
I. Yeah, I like the idea of like going from place to place and having the each if it works out well, each session be like just a new either a new place or a new scenario in terms of running into something new in space.
And we do the standard, like the standard 80s thing, including the new Voltron one on Netflix, which is standard 80s for sure.
Yeah.
Which is, like we have traveled place to place because the bad guy's trying to conquer each place that we're going to.
Of course.
Or he happens to be conquering it when we just happen to be there, which is my favorite.
There. Oh, hey!
We're here for vacation. Oh, he's trying to conquer it.
Again?
What were the chances?
So yeah, having one main villain is definitely a big thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe went muted.
Yeah, no, sorry. Whenever I type, Google Hangout starts muting me.
Oh, that's weird.
So what was that about one main villain?
Yeah, one main villain is definitely the way to go.
Okay,
sure.
that was going to be my next question: is do we want to have
Yeah.
one main villain or one? Okay, so
Well, we gotta have a big bad and his 3 minions, a la Skeletor in his inner circle. One's really good, one's okay, and one's just the worst idiot on the planet.
Yeah, just a joke.
excellent.
Okay. So,
I like this idea. Are you guys traveling around trying to beat him, or are you running from him, or her, or them?
Oh, that's a good question.
I would think that we're like out to save the day. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
ladies.
Leo?
If we're going to go with the ninja type theme, maybe he's like complete control of the entire galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
We're ninjas, like in normal ninja lore, where they battle and like subvert his authority by going in like Shogun and stuff like that, where we go in and like sabotage certain things, take out to like Star Wars. We're the rebels, we're the rebel alliance. We're fighting this massive force. There's impossible odds.
But we're heroes, and we will always win the day.
How do we feel about being space ninjas, sort of acting subversively against the gigantic, sort of Japanese samurai-looking enemy?
And he's like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, if we're gonna go samurais in space, we should just like
Yeah.
commit to it. I'm not gonna argue this too much. And there is precedence with another modern cartoon that's almost exactly like that,
Yeah.
which is G.I. Joe's what's it called, Chris? G.I. Joe Renegades.
Right.
Which is a reimagination of G.I. Joe as basically like they're fighting against Cobra, who's basically taken over the world already as a corporation.
Yeah, they're the.
It's kind of like G.I. Joe as Shadowrun without the Shadowrun.
Okay. An 80s version of Shadowrun. Well, actually, the original Shadowrun.
Yes, that's still 80s.
I remember those days.
Oh, Christ, that's old. But I'm okay going completely, like our spaceship might look like a Japanese sailing vessel in space. Like go
Junker.
that hardcore. It kind of looks like like in Serenity. It kind of looks like a horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ours kind of looks like your traditional samurai ship or like a flying castle in space. I'm okay with that too.
Oh, flying castles in space!
So, what I like to
Oh, I got it.
maybe we have
There
like
weren't
a rice dojo or like one of those traditional Japanese houses like on a floating rock.
Yes.
We like go outside and we're sitting outside in space. Like we're like there's like all that's protecting us from space is this just rice paper wall or something.
Oh, man, I like that.
Space Zen Garden. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we got that stupid annoying like an anime that thing that goes stink, make that stupid sound.
Yeah. Okay, I'm loving this direction. Is there anybody that wants to kind of stop this and change it a little bit now before we start going forward?
Tell you what, I got to do my opening.
Okay.
Long time ago, the Shogun Grognardia took over the known galaxy. Only a small, zippy gang in their space castle. The ones known as the Space Ninja oppose him, wherever he may be. Music.
Space Ninja!
think we have a winner.
Okay, we all have to have a number assigned to us.
We're now officially a 5-man band, or at least a 4.5 band, because one of them will be the comic relief. That's me.
Space Ninjas, Guardians of the Galaxy, Space Ninjas.
Oh, yes,
Shut up,
and-
Seymour.
Sorry, this is a good chance to bring this up. It's not necessary, but anybody who wants to contribute something to add to the feel of the show. I mean, Chris has talked about doing an opening theme. If you want to do that, it is much appreciated, and anybody who does that, I will gladly give them their character a free upgrade.
I think we all should have Japanese numbers in our name.
Oh, agreed.
I love this idea.
Like, I'm Black Roy 1.
Okay.
No. You have to be
Ichi?
Black Roy Ichi.
Itchy.
Ichi.
By the
You have
way,
to be
anybody
Ichi,
who is watching this in Japan who has Japanese heritage,
We apologize immediately.
And in advance, because it's only going to get worse from here.
yeah, exactly.
If you're not aware how bad we can get, please look up, if it's still out there, our play of Funkadelic Frankenstein, because that got really bad.
Yeah, okay, yeah, there were some parts where I, in particular, was probably culturally insensitive, but it was done with love.
It was done with love.
Everything we do is with love and appreciation, and we are open to being educated as to our ignorance.
Yes, yes.
Exactly.
Space Ninjas.
Okay.
Like history, and we realize that. That's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, I love this. PCs have Japanese numbers in their name. Traveling from place to place, trying to oppose the evil shogun as he's trying to take over more territory. And you're trying to free it with your ninja powers.
So,
And again, as we start to learn the rules, then we can start adding thing in like, not immediately, but eventually, maybe our space base breaks up into parts so we can form a giant robot. We can do that later.
But I'm going to insist on the title of our ship. It's the Hyper Robot Falcon 7.
Yes, except that 7 has to be the Japanese version. So it has Hyper Robot Falcon
Nana.
Nana.
Nana. Sure, that works.
We'll just call it the Nana.
Traveling
Oh, Joe's gone mute again.
with
Oh, well.
Zen.
oh, so in being space ninjas, is this like like how ninja is this?
Yes.
They're called ninjas, and they they do fight with their fists, but other than that, there's like not necessarily any stealth involved. They're just called that, or what? What are we thinking?
Good question.
Ninjas.
Was that Chris?
Well,
We're 80s ninjas, man.
We're 80s. Oh no.
Got it.
It's a good question. I am kind of thinking of like ninja as a title, but there will probably be like one very large muscularly ninja and one.
Of course.
There probably should be one ninja that actually does know how to sneak.
Sneaky Ninja.
Sneaky Ninja. Sneaky Ninja 5.
Exactly. Like I said, what I'll do is I'll post a link to TV tropes at the risk of hooking us all in here of the 5-man band.
Yes.
And that way we can just be able to pick a band member, for lack of a better term, and we can use that for the archetype of the character.
Yes.
You all can call it on which archetype you want to do. And if we have anybody, if we need an extra player for the final person in the 5-man band, we can look at the NPC. I'm not really picky, and we'll see where it goes.
And just remember, because we're going to do this 80s in the North American market, so anime transfer to... So, no. There's censorship. There's censorship. So, in the anime, you throw your throwing stars, there's blood. In the American version, they just zap.
Yep.
And they're just stun ones. The only thing they ever stick into is wood. They never stick into people.
Yep.
Maybe robots they'll stick into.
Robots. There will be robots. There will be many, many robots.
And there's always escape pods in any ship we attack.
Absolutely.
Cannot resist my stun shuriken. Oh, and if we are having Japanese numbers after our names, I'm gonna claim dibs on 5 because that's go.
Go.
You have dibs on 5. Although I would suggest numbers should also reflect your role in the 5-man band.
Okay.
So whoever is 1 should probably be the leader if there is a leader.
I say, since there's only 4 of us, 1 mysteriously vanished under mysterious circumstances.
Yeah, each is gone.
We have the lancer, the big guy, the smart guy, and the girl. In fact,
You could have the
used to be the leader, but he was under disguise during that period. He created his own monster.
Well, that is getting very, very, very Voltron.
yeah.
How do we feel about that, having the 5th person vanish and totally not going to come back later?
As the villain or
yeah, I mean, another thing we could do is we did have a leader and they jumped sides, so now we're all kind of on equal terms, and we have this the like badass that's under the villain used to be our leader.
Yep.
And the quandary.
Yep. And every episode is the group trying to learn to work together without a leader. Democracy.
The catalog gang. Okay.
It's like Voltron without the black line. So we're like,
Yes, it is definitely like Voltron. The black line to split.
Okay.
yeah, so we can't form Voltron.
Yeah, who'll form the head?
Yeah, we don't have no power to form the head. We're like, we can't do our ninja thing and do.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna call dibs on the Lancer just because I want to play Dark and Brooding.
You want to play Dark and Brooding? Okay.
Ninja Democracy. Yes.
Okay, so Chris, you are required every episode to do something along the lines of, I used to feel that way. And then he ran away, and then our leader ran away.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
That was the same stock footage every friggin' time.
Yeah. Okay. So Chris, does anybody else want to fight Chris for the Lancer?
Lancer.
Oh yeah, what are the roles again?
There's a link here. I'll just quickly read them out. The leader. We're so far saying that the leader has run away.
Because no one wants to take responsibility.
Exactly. It's an 80s cartoon. Our leader ran away.
Yeah. The Lancer is in contrast to the leader. The Lancer is also sometimes referred to as the rebel. This is your... what's a good example?
Kill the Condor from Super Sentai, from Gotchaman.
Okay.
Or Nicholas P. Wolfwood from Trigun.
Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely a Lancer.
Other good example.
Snake Eyes is kind of Lancer a little bit.
That
Yeah.
guy is the Lancer. He's the ninja.
If you watch G.I. Joe the movie, Lieutenant Falcon is a good example of the Lancer. He's directly opposed to Duke.
Yes.
Literally his brother.
Yeah.
So
basically, I'll be playing kind of a Lancer leader role. A Lancer being forced to be leader without liking it at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is pretty typical for a Lancer.
Yes. Hey, why am I in charge? Because we all voted for you.
The smart guy, the brain. This is the usually weaker but intelligent, often nerdy and awkward, sometimes played for comic relief. This is generally the character that tends to be the younger one.
But you said you wanted to play a robotic brain. I say Brad wants this one.
Possibly. I mean, I don't know if the robotic brain thing will work with Space Ninjas at all.
Oh no, you're a cyber ninja.
Yeah.
Could absolutely be a cyber ninja. The big guy, the strong man of the team. And okay, so this is what it says on the page. So I'm just going to read what it says on the page.
Yeah. This is throwing off everything in Joe's brain right now. It's awesome.
Okay.
It's called the Chick, also called the Moral Compass. This is the peacekeeping role. And it's usually referred to as a chick because usually in 80s cartoons, this is usually the female role.
However, there are exceptions. See Captain Planet, Mati.
Absolutely.
He is the chick role.
Yep,
You
very
get to
much.
play Heart.
Yes, this is obviously the heart of the group. Any one of these can also be comedy relief.
Oh, I think it's safe to assume we're all going to take turns playing comedy at this point.
It does seem to be where we're going, but who knows?
Yeah, I'll try to play it straight, but I ain't going to promise too hard. The problem is when you play something really straight, it becomes funny. One of those annoying.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, so that's the 5-man band. That's the roles. Does anybody want the Lancer as much as Chris wants it?
No, I can have it.
No, run with it.
Okay.
Sounds fine.
Okay. The brain.
I'll take number 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
you might have had a different number at one time, but you're now knee, regardless if you want it or not.
No, I'm number 2.
Is anybody drawn to playing the brain?
So I'd be willing to do that, but if nobody else wants to do the heart, the chick, I'd be okay with that too. I could work something out for that. That wouldn't be the brain, but it'd be
I'm flexible.
the literal brain.
I'll take what's left over. So I'll let you guys find out who wants to play what.
Okay.
You can totally do the brain, Brad. I'll be the chick.
Okay.
Okay. So did I hear that right? Brad, you're taking the brain. Leo, you're taking the heart roll.
Yep.
Okay.
Because I kind of want to play the anime chick.
That's fair.
Awesome. Jason, that leaves you with the big bruiser character.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
But I'd still be willing to switch, and I could do Bruiser too. I mean, that is
It's up to
the
you.
robot
I will take-
would also work. And
I'll take whatever's left over because I'm all good.
yeah, I mean, it was interesting when we were doing the Funkadelic Frankenstein. You're sort of the Bruiser.
I
But
totally
I mean,
got
not in
left
personality,
over.
but definitely like in build. So
I was totally the bruiser in Funkadelic Frankenstein. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
Power.
So do we want to trade up that road? Do you want to be the bruiser this time around and just kick ass?
I'm not sure yet. I'm
Particularly
sorry.
you gotta-
I don't want to like hold things up and make things more complicated, but I also want to.
That's
I
no
also
problem.
want to look like I want to. I guess I want to find out a little bit more about character, how the character creation works before deciding.
Okay.
That's
okay.
actually a good segue there.
That's a wonderful segue, Brad. Good job.
All right.
Good job.
It's almost like you've done this before.
What? No.
Next, this is the perfect time to talk about character. Let's talk about character creation. I'm going to pull up the one pager here. Okay, so how characters work in Cartoon Action Hour. You have your name, your picture, your description. You know that stuff that's pretty generic to every RPG. You have something called star power. This is how important the character is to the series. You all have a star power of 3. That's what one are goons, 2 are henchmen and guest stars, 3 are the characters and the really powerful leaders on the enemy side, and 4 is your master villain. So you guys are going to be 3.
That's fair.
Okay.
And that really, Jason and I were talking about this earlier, really the only thing that affects is there's certain times where if you do X, you get to add your star power, but it's the same for everybody, so it's not that big a deal. You get oomph, which are like fate points. You start off with your oomph is equal to your star power, so everybody starts off with 3. Qualities. So in Fate, you have your high concept. In Cartoon Action Hour, you have your standard quality. Same idea. It's your descriptor that says this is who you are. The way the standard what standard quality does is it gives you bonus dice to use when you're making rolls.
So yeah, so instead of rolling a d12, you roll a 2d12 and take the highest die, and then add your bonuses, if I'm right. Is that
Exactly.
correct, Joe? Yeah.
That is correct.
And you get to use that, what, twice per session?
How it works is per episode you get 2 dice.
Yeah.
So
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to do 3 in one roll, you can. If you want to do 1 in roll 1 later, as long as it's something that you can tag your signature quality.
Okay.
Then you get 2 standard qualities. Those are similar to your aspects. They give you a bonus to your roll. You can use them also once per episode to get a bonus to your roll. That is also an opportunity for the CAH version of compels. So that is a way for you, if you have a standard quality that says darkened brooding bruiser, and you're like, well, I'm a darkened brooding bruiser, so I'm not going to mention the fact that there's vampires crawling in the ducks. Then great, you get an oomph point.
Okay.
Good so far? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that each character gets are traits. Traits cover everything else. So skills, superpowers, accessories, certain like power armor, ninja powers, etc., etc. They're like skills. You add your trait rating to certain rolls. Traits have what are called special features, which are basically advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah, like stunts, basically.
Exactly, similar to stunts. And then once you have determined all of that, you get upgrades, which are basically ways to add, maybe increase the rating of your traits, maybe give yourself more oomph points. There's certain things that you can do with them. Just an important quick note. One thing that we'll want to talk about is what trait level we want to have. And that determines how many points you want to spend. You have to spend on your traits. Because these are going to be one-shots, at least that's the plan for right now, it's not a big deal. But for traits, you've got 3 tiers. You've got your human tier, which is your real Ghostbusters, your G.I. Joe, etc. You have your superhuman tier, which is any of the superhero cartoons, of course.
And probably He-Man.
He-Man would definitely fit in the superhuman tier. And then you have your cosmic tier. That is your Voltron.
Silver Surfer.
That's your Silver Surfer. That's your Transformers, really.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
And it's just basically those control how large of a tier you can have, or sorry, how high a trait level you can have. So if you're doing human, then your max trait without an upgrade is 4. And if you're doing superhuman, then it's 8, and then if you're doing cosmic, it's unlimited.
I'd say let's start a human for now. Just get our bearings. Keep it power level low.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. The beautiful thing about this is that we could do that. We could do what we've described in any one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about human then is you have less points to play with, and so it's easier.
Yeah, and this is also, instead of building new characters every episode, we can always, like have our core set of traits and write them down. And then if we want to do something a little bit higher up or lower down, then we can have like adjustments as side traits that we get rid of after like an episode or something.
Yeah,
we can even work it that way.
Absolutely, it's not a bad
Instead
idea.
of building a new character each time, we just kind of add or subtract a trait from our character.
Okay.
Like Brad's character picked up like an electro ninja star that can like slice planets in half. But after that episode, it's gone because the censors realized that was not going to be a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, that never happened in cartoons.
No, never.
Excellent. Okay.
And I'm not sure who has the book. There is a giant list of examples of traits.
Yes.
On page 103 of the booklet, and it's gigantic.
Yes. I've actually got that.
I do like having a list of stuff. Whereas in this, like if you have an idea, then you can just write down your idea, just a la Fate. But I'm definitely one of these people who likes a list of things to pick from.
Yeah.
For sure.
And actually, what is a really good idea is for me to.
Well, they do kind of mix up, like powers and skills. And my favorite is right by Born Entertainer. They have Bad Mofo as a skill. Like, I'm not sure how that works. But
I know, right?
That's nonsensical.
I'm actually going to see if I can get that page that you're talking about as a
as like a ping or
as a thing, as a handout.
As a handout. You might be able just to print the one page, maybe. And for qualities do definitely like run aspects that we kind of come up with what terminologies, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so feel free, if everybody could just take a second, run over to the journal tab, check out the trait handout, and see if you can read that.
Not showing up.
No, not showing up yet.
Yeah.
No, it's not showing up.
So probably it's just not set so that all players can see it. So there we go.
Oh, that would work.
Hey. Okay.
You might want to download it onto your computer so it's a little bit bigger, but that's just me because I'm working on a tiny little screen right now. But I do have the original copy. So.
One of them is Art of Ninjutsu.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yes.
Another option that we can do in world creation is we can say, okay, because again, like thinking of G.I. Joe, for example, every G.I. Joe character has accessories.
Yes.
They just do.
Yes.
What we do have the option of doing is saying, okay, every character has to have a superpower based on ninjutsu. Everybody has to have.
Yeah.
Like if we're doing Silverhawks or some kind of cyber ninja, we can do. Everybody has to have a trait based on, and actually based on cybernetics.
Yeah.
And since we're doing human tier, I think it would be appropriate to do that. Basically, to say that's a free trait, which is something we can do, but that. We'll see. I think that's something we can do or not do.
That's cool.
Okay. Well, it sort of makes sense for everybody to have like some degree of art of ninjutsu.
Yeah.
So now, Joe, would that be the rule they talk about, which is the 0 level trait?
Not exactly.
Okay.
Jason, what I'm looking at is page 98.
Okay.
Which is where it says things like disallowed traits, disallowed special rules.
Okay.
I'm thinking either required trait or free traits, or
Okay.
free modifiable traits. What I'm looking at. I'm also
Okay.
just going to take a quick look here.
Oh, there they are. I missed this page. Sorry.
No problem. There's a lot in there. There is a world that the creators made called Iron Wolves, and I want to just look to that as an example.
I get it. Okay, that makes sense.
Band, cybernetics, creation. Again, none of this at the moment is, nothing's set in stone until we decide it's set in stone.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay, so with the feel of this, are we going for kind of, for lack of a better term, 80s ninjas, sort of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in space?
That's actually not a bad archetype if we need to fill niches. Because the Turtles is a great choice, just kind of to fill in the roles.
That is a very good point, actually, yeah.
Okay.
It is definitely the 4-man band.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
With
Okay.
the floating girl.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Mikey's the heart.
Yes.
Don's the brains. Raphael's technically the big guy, even though he's more like the Lancer rolled into one, and Leo's the leader, so it kind of works.
Yeah.
Whereas we're a 5-man band without a leader, which is funny.
So Leo ran away, and now our new Leo is April.
Yes.
Or Casey Jones, either or.
Oh, great.
I say we fight them, lawbreaker. Okay. Yeah, because the way I see it, it's going to be a consensus. Otherwise, we're never going to get anywhere, ultimately, because I'm going to be the dark and brooding one. The heart's going to have to pull back and say, you must follow your heart! Whereas the smart guy basically pulls out the toys, and the big guy just sort of hits things with his Roy power. Because he's Roy Ninja.
Roy Ninja. We call him Roy for short. We call him Roy for short.
I like that. Okay.
We spell it with an I because it looks vaguely Japanese, and we don't know what we're doing because we're American translators.
Exactly.
We are the result of a bunch of people sitting down in a boardroom and saying, we need something that has ninjas and space in it.
Yes. That the kids seem to like.
Because the kids seem to like that. And we can't do mutant turtles because they already did that.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so we can talk about that.
It's totally different. These are mutant terrapins.
Tortoise Adventures.
Oh, that sounds awful. And yet kind of awesome.
Oh. Actually, here's a question for us. Speaking of mutants, do we all want to be the same race? Do we want to have aliens mixed up in this?
Totally up to you guys.
I don't know. We're all wearing ninja suits. What's underneath a ninja suit?
We're never seen outside our costumes, no matter we're in disguise.
Brad could be a totally robotic ninja. We do not know until like episode 40.
Yeah, he's the sniper. He's a USB plug. He plugs into everything. And gets
The chick could be a chick or a guy or something else. We don't know. We're all wearing ninja costumes. You only distinguish us by our color.
Yeah.
And our numbers on our chest, of course.
Yes, of course.
Because you always have numbers you're called. And the girl could have like the shape-shifting ability, so that's why we're not sure of her gender.
Good.
Oh, let's go bird cats with this. Awesome.
Absolutely. The heart or he, we're not sure. We don't care. We're heroes.
It's okay. We're accepting of all genders.
Yay.
As long as they buy toys.
Exactly.
Yes. All genders
They
that buy
don't want to
toys.
know the special transformation sequence of the Puff Ninja.
Yeah, so the way that we hide the girl is that everyone has really long hair. That's
I like that.
Yeah.
None of our ninjas look poor, though. Sorry, poor people.
Yeah, no.
You can't afford the toys. They're too expensive.
Yep. That's just how it is.
Yep.
Okay. Brain. Parts.
What is that? I gotta look up a word. Oh my god. Carve. What is that word?
Okay, so that's kind of character creation and characters in CAH in a nutshell.
Okay.
How does that feel? Are we comfortable? We can leave the last two roles for later if we like, or choose them now.
So how many points would that give us to build with, Joe, just to be confirmed for traits?
If we're doing the human role or pure, blah, 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 blah.
That's 16?
I use these words. It is 18.
18.
Yeah, that's 18 points to play with.
Okay.
And general recommendation is I have it and I look at it and I lost it. Between 5 and 10 traits.
5 and 10 traits, yeah. So kind of almost like a pyramid for Fates a little bit, but you can have a little bit more play around.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not a bad idea to think of the Fate skill pyramid either. This is your one major thing, and then there's minor ones. Did everybody get my email?
And our max is 4. Okay.
With the list of special features?
Can you put them up in the show? Can you put them up in the show notes?
Can do that too.
Yeah.
Because I think I know where they are in the book, but the book is scrolling really slowly right now. It's so big.
Add handouts.
What is that?
My Adobe has just crashed, but that's okay.
What?
Yeah. Of course, that's not.
Why is there a skill for prancing or capering about? I had to look up a word because I didn't know what it was. It's like to jump or move around in a lively manner.
Okay.
Oh, to spend time in an enjoyable or often wild or inappropriate way.
It's good to be skilled at that.
Indeed.
Oh.
Let's see if I can make this happen.
Okay, so do you want to build one of the characters with somebody acting as guinea pig just to show the rest of TV internet land how it's done? Or
That is an excellent idea, Chris.
thank you.
I'm glad you thought of it.
I'm excited about this idea. And, looking forward to being a part of it. Not exactly how it goes, but
Sorry, man. I'm backing away. I have a bad habit of taking over places. Going, let's do this.
Okay, give me a moment. What I'm doing now is I am getting... I'm attempting to get all the special features. Derpy,
Okay.
derpy.
Well, while we're waiting in this thing, I'd like to ask the people in internet land one simple thing. What is your favorite 80s TV show? Can you post in the chat and let us know?
Oh, that's too hard.
Because feel free, we will take ideas from anybody, and that includes our adoring fans.
Or not so adoring.
Yeah, even our ambivalent fans.
Yeah,
We'll take ideas.
exactly.
If you have an idea, we'll steal it.
Yay!
Or what show did you watch in the 80s that was actually from the 60s? Because you live in Canada, and we didn't get the good stuff.
Or the 50s stuff. Okay. A little
Always with the whining about Canada with you.
I don't know.
Okay, a little bit of Canadiana for you guys. Do you remember 60s Spider-Man?
Yes.
Done by Wayne and Schuster, one of the greatest comedy troupes that came out of Canada.
Oh God, Wayne and Schuster.
Period. A good chunk of the cast was from Wayne and Schuster.
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
The more you know. Our first public service announcement.
This has been a CAH Canadian moment.
Ding.
Can everybody see the special features handout?
Yes.
Yes.
I can.
Spectacular.
Hooray.
All right. Who would like to go first?
I'll be doing big.
Okay, who's that?
Yeah.
Leo. Okay. Sorry, I was staring intently to the camera. I didn't see who spoke. Okay.
Okay.
Leo, we are making you the heart. I guess the first question is, which number do you want?
Oh, that's a good question.
Mm.
So I think clarifying, like, so we're ninjas, but we're part of a band?
Yeah. Well, it's a 5-man band. It's a cliche just for some things. I would recommend 2, 3, 4, and 5 because number 1 is the one we don't want to get near. At least I don't want to get anywhere near, even though you guys keep pushing me on it.
But he wants to be on too. Well, because I was thinking about the band idea. I was like, okay, that sounds pretty cool. But okay.
Brad already had dibs on go.
Dibs on go. Yes.
Number 5. So
He's 5.
Yes.
take number 4.
I'll be number 2. I don't
No, my number 2.
care. You're number 2.
Sorry.
I'll be number 3 then.
Okay.
I'll be right in the middle.
Yeah, actually,
On the back.
right in the middle is kind of perfect for heart.
Right.
Yes.
I'm 3.
Okay. Are we having names besides our numbers, or are we just going to be?
Oh no, we can have names. We totally can have
Normal name, color, number.
Okay. Leo, do you have anything you want to do for that now, or do you want to come back to the name?
What is 3 in Japan? I don't know.
3 in Japanese is san.
Yeah.
Sam?
And also, if you're going to
Oh,
go for the
my.
androgynous joke, make it like a Terry or something. One of those names is androgynous.
Yeah, you can still say number 3 because we might be, of course, going for the American filter.
Yes.
Because every once in a while we have to make a joke that the American filter failed.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the trope I am going to be pushing.
Yes.
Actually, and sorry, before we talk about your character, I apologize. We actually should talk a little bit about tropes, because tropes are one of the ways that you get oomph points in this game.
Okay.
So, we should do that first.
Stop doing that. Okay.
We want to make sure that we can have a chance to build our characters around that. Okay, tropes. 80s ninjas tropes. Anything that you want to see in the game or that should be in the game?
80s ninja.
Or 80s anime tropes.
Oh, Shogun tropes. Let's see. Shogun tropes. Alien farmers needing our help, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Farmers needing our help. I'm not sure if that's a trope, because that's not going to come up all the time.
No, but alien peasants.
Alien peasants.
Always has to be alien peasants needing.
Oh, one-player character.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly any one of us has to have a lady in every port. You have to almost have a girlfriend every time you land on it, and then you have to leave. There's no kissing. There's never any, but there's that insinuation that they're going to hook up later off screen.
I think.
It sounds like a Lancer thing.
That is totally a Lancer thing.
Grudgingly, but I'll do it. Seriously.
Such a trooper. I think if we spin that like this is the character who constantly gets into like hopeless romances.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it works. Like, honestly,
Definitely
this is a character who's trying to be a brooding loner and failing absolutely miserably.
Less of the Captain Kirk and more of the Patrick Stewart thing.
Yeah. Like I said,
Yeah.
if I'm going to use a template for my character, it's going to be Joe the Falcon from Gotcha Man.
Yes.
Does anybody else like that trope? Because we don't necessarily have to limit that to one character either.
Oh, no. I think we should all take turns on that one and basically actually have a romance of the week that doesn't really go anywhere.
And it could be something that was meant to be like something that was going to be really cool and sci-fi, but we had to edit it for children.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see the Japanese version. It's kind of bluer.
And we can talk about comfort level too, because obviously that could get weird. I'm just saying.
Well, gee, I wonder if it would get weird.
Well, again, it doesn't even have to be a romance. It could be like like a little crush, or someone on the planet decides to follow us around all the time because they become a fanboy, or
romance / sidekick of the week.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I have my hook. It's a very simple thing.
Okay.
I am a closet cook. I'm a really good cook, but I'm a closet. I don't want to talk about it. But we always have
talk about that you're cook. Yes.
And we always have these beautiful pies that show out of nowhere, and I will deny everything.
So our trope is for that is forgotten real life skills.
I like that.
Like we insinuate that we have real life skills, but it's all off screen. So yes, a random pie.
Exactly.
Is everybody else okay? Because that's something we could all do.
Absolutely. Like, I think it'd be funny as hell.
Leo, Brad, what do you think?
Sort of go either way on it.
Okay.
So it's all good.
Leo?
What do you mean, like, forgotten skills? Like,
Yeah, so what... Because what I'm thinking of is this is something that we can try, that y'all as players can put into the game as an opportunity to get oomph.
And we got to think maybe a little bit more broad, yeah.
Yeah, but it's something... So I want it to be something that everybody can use. So Chris's character is cook, painting, singer, comedian, joke teller, botanist, origami, like anything that's sort of...
Or celebrity.
Come back to that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Celebrity gossip.
Yeah.
Well,
so even though it's Saturday morning, we're actually Fox Force 5, and one of us is a vaudevillian that tells a new joke every week, and can throw knives. And sorry.
We can totally go down that road.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, is that something you can get behind? Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'll call that one secret skills.
Secret skills.
Well, worst comes to worst, are those ones that you appear for one episode and they're never used again.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so I'm thinking we've already got alien peasants needing help.
Yes.
I'm thinking of tropes.
Well, there should be plenty of XPs of things from other cartoons, because that's always funny.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we
What
also
was that one, Brad? Sorry, I missed that.
XPs from other cartoons.
not a problem there.
So can you give me an example for that?
Oh, sure.
You have to deal with a small planet full of space gnomes.
Well, okay. Let me see. Just Ookla the Mock showing up at some point would be amusing. I'm sorry. I'm focused on that whole Thundar thing still.
Bitter.
Yep.
like we're going around in space. So if like Captain Harlock showed up at some point, and we had like ninjas versus pirates, what do you know?
Of course.
Yes.
And because the way we want to do this, and again, kind of the Wreck-It thing, but we go to a new planet, we can totally end up like stuck on a barbarian planet full of Thundar. That's easy.
Yeah. Totally do that.
I'm trying to remember the name of the cartoon that it was like opposite Thundar often, that had like the sort of dinosaurs but not really, one of which could like had like this horn that was hollow that shot things out of it. What's that called?
Dino? That's not Dino Riders.
Dino Saucers, maybe. I don't know. If somebody knows in the chat, let us know.
It's stuck in my head. Sort of.
Yeah.
Let's see here. 1980s. Was that it? Is that the first thing on the list? I think we actually have our. Oh my God! I think we might have our thing. This is Adventures of Galaxy Rangers. I think that's kind of what we're playing, except we're playing ninjas instead. I think we're actually playing this.
We're the Galaxy Rangers, except we're ninjas.
Oh my God! Yes, we are actually kind of playing this.
Yeah, kind of are.
Oh yes, Inga. I'm not sure if this is a trope or not. Maybe more a gaming idea, because again, we're supposed to try to game tropes to get oomph, right?
Yeah.
So that's not really a trope, Dad.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of different ways we could do that. Secret skills. Let's leave that for now. That's something we can think about a bit more.
Okay. You can also add in as we play, of course. Like,
yeah, exactly.
What trope are we trying to get today?
Yeah, exactly. What are we trying to get today? But I am going to put down Pirates versus Ninjas.
Pirates versus Ninjas as a trope? Yeah.
Program has betrayed us by sending pirates on our ninja clan.
And this isn't a trope, but like a setting that I'd love to see sometime is the Starship Graveyard.
Of course.
That's an entire episode.
Super cool.
Okay.
Interesting, considering starships, are not your Robotech starships, but your Chinese junk, your Japanese warships, your temples, which is what you guys have, your monasteries. I think that would be very interesting.
Yes.
Yes, I found something that is a trope, but it's not a trope in this game.
What did you find?
You don't really want to hear it.
Okay.
I might get kicked off the podcast or the chat.
Talk about that after.
I'm reading some of the tropes that were in Adventures of Galaxy Rangers, and one of them is like, even with what we did at Funkadelic Frankenstein, this is way too racist.
I don't doubt it. Yeah, that, by the way, is a trope that we are not going to include in our game.
Yeah, we're going to try to stay away from those.
Casual racism.
Casual racism. Oh my God.
Okay, so sorry, Leo. We started and then went back. So I'd like to go back again. Okay. So first thing, where's my other? Right here. So first thing is your signature quality. So you're the heart character. I'm actually sorry to interrupt again. I'm good at this.
Yay.
Is now a good time for a break? Take 5 minutes, think about the character, and then come back?
Sure.
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
We do the break prep here. It'll just.
All right. So when we come back, the first thing we're going to talk about is signature quality, which is your high concept. So your sort of quick description of who your character is. and then the standard qualities, which are sort of a couple of other supporting descriptions.
All right.
And then Leo, when we come back, we can walk you through that as a guinea pig. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right.
Okay. Oh, I wish I had some music that was theme appropriate, but I don't. So
Darn it.
we'll be back in about 5. Please stick around, and we will do some more. We will jump with both legs into character creation and associated zaniness.
Yes.